Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and today we're going to be doing a quick review of Hawkman number 8. Bottom line up front, this is going to be a very mild recommend for this issue. This is my favorite ongoing series in all of comics. I think it's been terrific so far, but I'll be honest, this issue is a little bit of a disappointment, but it's been such a good book so far. Even a disappointing issue is actually pretty good. So here on the cover, I was really excited because I remember in the very first issue of Hawkman when he was explaining that he was being reincarnated across space and time, you could see a Kryptonian version of Hawkman. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'd like to meet that character, Catar-Ol. So here we see the cover, and it's Kryptonian Hawkman Catar-Ol with his classic Superman pose, opening up his chest to expose his costume or his uniform. Really cool cover, liked it a lot. For the credits, the writer is Robert Venditti. He's my favorite comic writer today. I pretty much like almost every series that he's written. Exo Man of War is awesome. I really liked Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps. I think his series Damage is really good. The only one I haven't really liked, I got the first issue of Freedom Fighters, and that one wasn't really for me. But everything else he writes is gold. So he's been awesome on this, and then he's paired up with Bryan Hitch as the artist. These guys have been awesome together. They're the best creative pairing in comics today, if you ask me. And I'm really happy they've actually done 8 issues together. I hope they do like at least 2 years together. That would be awesome because you don't really get to see very many good creative teams stick together very long. And Alex Sinclair is on the colors. So the book starts out with Hawkman. He's returned to Krypton, and he's at the rubble of Krypton, and he's explaining that when he's met his past lives, it's always been because he's touched something, like, or he's been something important, like the ruins of ancient Egypt when he met his first incarnation, or the planetarium projecting Thanagar's night when he actually met his incarnation from Thanagar. So he's hoping that the rubble will be enough to project him in to meet his Kryptonian incarnation, and it is. And this is pretty much what the whole book is. It's Catar-Ol and Catar-Ol speaking to each other. It's kind of weird because he's talking to an incarnation of himself, so it's kind of introspective, but they don't know exactly what, they don't both know the same information. So the Kryptonian Hawkman, he introduces Catar-Ol to the museum, and he's talking about all the artifacts that are going to be lost, and Hawkman explains to him that there's actually a Kryptonian on Earth called Superman. He would be named Kal-El. The Kryptonian Hawkman knows Jor-El. And then he explains that one of his students is his niece Kara, who would be Supergirl. I think that's going to come into play down the road in the series, or I'll be shocked if it doesn't. So then he takes him in to like a planetarium where they're showing the history of Krypton, and man, this is a beautiful double-page spread from Bryan Hitch. It's just gorgeous, and Alex Sinclair just makes this just feel very vibrant. It's very lively. It's an amazing piece of art, actually. It's beautiful to look at, and they're talking about the history of Krypton and how it's all about to end because the world's about to be destroyed. So Catar-Ol starts explaining to him, I've come here for something. I know that you had a weapon that was supposed to defeat the Deathbringers. Now that the second age of Deathbringers is back, and he needs the weapon. So Catar-Ol takes him in to see the weapon, and he explains that it was never completed and it doesn't work. So he's asking him for more information. There has to be a schematic. There has to be some science and technology that I can take back to Earth and defend the Earth. And after Kryptonian Hawkman explains, that's not going to happen. None of it's been saved. The planet's about to die. He's like, that's not enough. I'm supposed to be saving lives. And he explains that's not enough. Have blood on my hands. If the Earth is destroyed, I'm going to have more blood shed on my hands. I need the weapon to defend Earth. Catar-Ol explains to him that you must be the weapon. So I believe that's why he was come to Krypton and visited this incarnation of himself to understand that he is the weapon that will destroy the Deathbringers. And then on the final page of the comic, you see that the Deathbringers have finally arrived at Earth, and they're looking for the great betrayer that would be Catar-Ol, because he used to be the general of the Deathbringer army, and they're here to destroy him. Like I said, I believe Supergirl's going to play into this, obviously, because now there's a connection that another incarnation of Catar-Ol has was actually her instructor on Krypton. Overall, like I said, it's not any action to speak of in this book, and I really think that Bryan Hitch's art really sings in this series when there's really a lot of dynamic action going on, or especially when Hawkman's flying. Hawkman doesn't fly in this issue, so while the art's still really good, it's not doesn't quite soar, so to speak, as the other issues of Hawkman, in my opinion. But overall, like I said, it's a mild recommendation. It's a good book. I think it's more of a palate cleanser after the last issue where you learned all the death and destruction that was on the hands of Catar-Ol as he moves forward to protect the Earth from the Deathbringers. So what's your opinion? Do you agree with me? Did you think it was much better than I thought? Do you disagree? Do you think it wasn't worth a recommendation at all? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, you can always contact me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Subscribe to the channel for more comic reviews and commentary. And please ring the bell for notifications for future videos. With that, Salamat po, and I'm out.